Hey guys, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for once again coming back to view my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, thanks for coming back home, y'all. If you have not already done so, go ahead and do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, like this video, comment down below, as well as share to your social media platforms. So on today, I want to begin to summarize my last live that I did last Sabbath. In that video, I began to make the connections between Hinduism and Judaism, as well as West African spirituality. I was doing a part 2 of the Aquaman, part 1 that I did, talking about the world before the world. I brought out facts that Europe came out of Africa, came out of Phoenicia. I began to break down and disseminate very carefully, proving who the Israelites are today, who they were before they were called Israelites. I went into the Hibiru, I went into the Ube culture of Egypt, so on and so forth. I am going to do another in-depth video on this study, and I'm going to actually get into the divine council, as well as bring out even more of other deities in other religions. I delved into that in that last video, so go ahead and check that out. So on today, I want to talk about something that I've spoken briefly about before, but it's the fact that the word God is a title. It's an epithet. It's to describe. It is not a personal name of who we call the Most High. The Most High is one and the same. It's still a title. It's also an epithet. And I want to explain this very, very, very carefully. If you look up the word God, it literally is power or a deity. If you look up the Most High, it's the deity that's ruling in time over that people group, that landmass, or over the world. So this is why people whom do not have the same belief system can say that they worship God, or we are so easily impressed when people begin to say the Most High. We don't know who is highest over them, their bloodline, so on and so forth. The ancient Igbos, who are known to be Gadites, and when you begin to look into the diaspora, Haitians who speak Creole, they begin to say in Creole that we are Igbos. They came from Erie, who was from the tribe of Gad. They say that Abraham is also their predecessor. They begin to say that they do not use the word God. And now, I brought out before that it's the fact that when you go into the etymology, they link it into Gad, which is the Lord of fortune. And when you begin to look into that, it leads into Celtic gods, right? Today I'm watching a video and I'm studying for this other live that I'm going to do, if it's live or pre-recorded, on this topic. And I'm getting some even deeper links between Hinduism and Judaism. And when I say Judaism, I'm talking about Second Temple, Israelite practices, but also some of the cultural markers of the Hebrews. I also linked in pre-exilic Israelite practices. We have to remember that Elam was and is a Shemite. He came out of Shem, and that out of Elam, this is where you have India and a lot of your Persians. So there are going to be some common denominators in the belief system, in the appearance, in the linguistics, and in some of the traditions. When you begin to look deep into Hinduism, and it's a fact that a lot of people, a lot of black people are leaning into Hinduism. It's so many times when I see and I go into people's spaces and they talk about doing yoga, and they have these different deities set up around their house, and they say, oh, this is African in culture. I can't argue with that. That was seen in the Levant. However, what I do know is that there are powers linked to these practices. When we look into what God means in Hinduism, this doctor who I'm watching, he stated that he was at a Shiva festival. And in my last video, I began to explain how Shiva means destroyer. I brought out so many scriptures in the Bible about the destroyer being located and seen in the Israelites' customs and being used as an agent of the Most High to destroy. When this man was at this festival, he said that someone walked up to him and said, "Do you know God?" And he said, "Yeah, I believe I know God." And he said, "No, do you know God?" And he asked him, "Well, explain." He said, "G is for the generator, and that would be Brahma. O is for the operator who maintains, and that would be Vishnu. And D is for the destroyer, and that would be Shiva." This is the Trinity that you begin to see in Hinduism. And all three of these deities also have wives. So this is the three female Trinity. When you begin to look into the book of Zechariah, it begins to talk about three women. One of them, I believe, was inside of a basket in a place called Shinar and Babylon. And then it was two more who had wings of storks on them. Those are unclean birds. And they began to pick up this basket and take it over to Mystery Babylon. We also see the three women Trinity in Hebraic culture among the Ishmaelites, among Jokatan, who was the original Arab, as well as among some groups of Edom, who some are Arab, some Nabateans out of Hagar. It's so many things. And so pre-Islamic culture, they had a three-woman trinity as well. Even when you look into West African culture, you have Yamaya, you have Oshun, and you have Oya. We need to really do some deep digging and begin to line up all of these things, not only to find Hebraic markers, but to see exactly what scripture is saying, as well as being able to find some inserts as well as influence, knowing that Zoroastrianism was practiced in this region, knowing that the Bantu were located in the Indus Kush, valley, amongst these Vedics, amongst these Hindus, amongst these Elamites. We really have to study and go further, because there's more than meets the eye. Will you continue to use the word God? Is life really that deep? Do words have power? Will we call him by his name? Chukwu Okiki Onbiamba. Yahweh Elohim, the Most High Yah of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Tell me what you guys think down below. Did you know this? Have you studied on this? If so, drop down some source material. Let's share, let's learn, let's grow together. Thank you for coming back to my channel. This is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems, signing out.